Hello and welcome to episode 2 of PodCast. Now, we know that last week we had several technical issues that have now hopefully been resolved, at least for the most part.
I'm trying, I really am.
He does most of the editing, so if anything bad happens, it's his fault. So anyway, this week we actually have community levels, which is sort of a novelty, considering the last month or so.
Very grateful that PSN finally managed to come up, and even though there was a little snag with logins to the Little Big Planet servers, everything's good now, so
yeah,
yay.
Should be good from here on out. Well, at least we hope so. And on that note, at least North America's player award program thing that they have, the thank you program, I'm perfectly happy with. I don't know about you, but it sounds great to me.
I have I have had 4 out of 5, but I'm getting free stuff, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's awesome. So anyway, down to business. Starting off with the JK pick.
Okay. This one, I hunted for a while trying to find one that I was actually pleased with, but I ended up picking Moonlight Temple by Setsuna Ragwa. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's why we have hover text. Anyways, the level was very simple, but there was a lot of good lighting effects, good just puzzle making. Very hard though. If you don't know what you're doing, don't try it. I shouldn't say that. Try it, learn. It's really hard, but worth it. There's a flaw about halfway in though, where the camera kind of twitches and puts you off screen for a little bit. Not a big deal. Something they really do need to fix, but other than that, I mean, the level's got a lot going for it. Oh, and people, take advice from this level. Don't put candles on stairs. They're really hard to get past. I died so many times the first time I played this because of candles, but as I said, it's an awesome level. Simplicity and just a lot of timing-based challenges. And I hope that the boss battle that they're working on that's supposed to be in the next level is just as good. I can see a lot of promise in it if they do it right. So, yeah.
The thing to take away from this is that objects take up physical space, decorations do not. So be careful with objects, decorations, not so much of an issue.
Sure, very true.
Now for the Durman pick this week.
I have the high score compared to him.
Cosmos Pinball by FoxDie84. It's a pinball level. I'm a big fan of pinball, always have been, and this one kind of takes a different direction as some other pinball levels, in that instead of going for realistic pinball physics with the ball moving around and acting like it's supposed to, instead, it's your sack boy. Your sack thing is bouncing around in the level as opposed to having a ball bouncing around. On top of that, the music fits with the level. It's very well lit. It's very pretty. Instead of having you get points for bouncing off of stuff, you do get some points for bouncing off of stuff, but there's also point bubbles all over the place. The only problem that I have with the level is that, well, for one thing, you only have one ball. So once you go down to the bottom, the level's over.
Unless the level screws up on you and somehow crushes your sack boy, then you get a second one.
Which is very nice. And also, once you get to the bottom half of the table, it's kind of hard to get back up to the top. So that might be one thing to try to resolve, but find a way to get you a little bit more speed to get back up to the top. But other than that, plays very, very well.
Oh, and I definitely like the fact that they had the little asteroid belt that you broke through, and those would just fly off.
Oh yes, it's very, very nice. Great visual style and everything. Moving on to the podcast pick this week.
Okay, this one, I played this a long time ago, but it had to be picked. Because if you remember last week, we were talking about head chopping and how it's a very adaptable design and how you can customize it however you want. This guy has done it really well. It's Roman Bouncing by Enterin. It's amazing for a remake, and it's definitely got some traps that make you think. And I can't get past one of them because it required perfect precision on it, but...
Yeah, the obstacles are... once you get decently far into the level, the obstacles are very tricky. very, very well done for a survival challenge.
He definitely got knocked out by a bounce pad that was at an angle.
Yeah, there's a little trough-shaped section, so like there's 2 bounce pads here, then 2 angled ones, and then a flat one at the bottom. So if you hit that just wrong, you get flung off from one side to the other. Very, very tricky, but extremely fun. And the color scheme, unlike hedge hopping, is very nice.
Which changes as you go throughout the level. It'll
Changes
turn to
as you
night
go.
and adds things. It also has a nice little tutorial. If you go up, you can actually go and see, if you go to the left instead of the right at the start, you can go up and see all the different obstacles you're going to face on the way. So, just a little bit of training.
Gives you a little bit of seeing what's going to be going on. But also the very beginning of the level is a little clunky. It's not quite as nice and clean as it is in hedge hopping, where you go down to a little pit and then the bottom opens out and you fall down. In this level, there's just an area where you stand on, and eventually the base will disappear and you'll fall into the level. That bit, I think, could use a little work just to make it more obvious, as this is where you all need to stand to start the level. But also, some of the points in some of the more challenging chunks of level...
Not even so much more challenging, they're just too low.
Yeah, they're just kind of hard to get to. The points are kind of tucked a little bit too far down so that you can't quite jump onto them as perhaps you should.
I've maybe hit half of them, most, on a single jump. You can't get it. But yeah, it's an awesome level. Definitely check that one out.
It's definitely worth playing if you like survival challenges like that. Now for the M&M pick.
This one's really odd.
Yes, this is actually a concept that I had been toying with, but never really got around to. But somebody beat me to the punch, and I am very pleased with the way they did it. It's called Screensaver Plasma Coil by Snurky. It's just a very pretty level. It's a screensaver.
We're going to count it as a cinematic, even though it's not even that, really. It's
just something to have on your screen while, like, for example, what I do when, like, I'm grabbing lunch or whatever, I'll sit down and then set a cinematic playing and just watch it while I'm eating. This is something nice you can just, okay, I'm going to step away from Little Big Planet for a while, set it to the screensaver.
This is also something that definitely shows that the simple things, like, because the way they made this, I'm sure, was fairly simple if we were to see it. It's the simple things that can sometimes be the most impressive. Mm-hmm. It's just astonishing.
The only thing that I do not like about this level is that it's not widescreen. The glowy plasma coil stays in a fairly square area. So I would like to see it bouncing around the entire screen, but that's a very minor con with all the pros that you have to this thing.
Plus, if you have a 4x3 TV, hey, no problem at all.
Exactly. But anyway, that's it for our picks this week. You'll be able to find them at down there in the description. You'll have level links to those. But now we have our fan art.
It's him again.
Yeah, it's me again, but since we don't have any actual fan art this week...
That means submit it to our email or our Twitter. Seriously, we need fan art, even if it's something minor.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Just grab a piece of paper, make a sketch of Sackboy, scan it, and give it to us.
Write our name, scan it, and send it to us, and we'll put it up. We've got nothing better to do.
Apply the end of a pencil to a piece of paper, send it to us, and we'll put it on air. We want something to show off. But this week we have my Sackboy. This is a plush Sackboy.
It's always angry, I think. It's got the whole angry expression going
sort
on.
of. And it looks like his leg is trying to come off. But this is all hand-stitched. I came up with the pattern myself just kind of by going off of pictures.
A bit dated, too.
Yeah. I need to redo this at some stage, but doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on.
Things.
I like throwing things. This week we have sticky notes for you. This is just little tutorials, just little tips and tricks, and this week it's hand gestures. One thing that not a lot of people notice is that the pressure that you apply to the L2 and R2 triggers determines what your Sackboy does with his hand. If you just lightly hold it, like halfway down, Sackboy will hold out his hand like this. But if you press down harder, just on standard, you'll point. So if you press down all the way, then you do the actual gesture for whatever mood you're in. But if you just hold it down halfway, no matter what mood you're in, your Sackboy will just hold out their hand.
Or if you're like me, just go angry all the time and just make a fist all the time. It works great.
Oh, yeah. But it's just a little trick that might help your little visual interaction, especially if you're waving to somebody.
All right, comments and creators. Now, last week we showed the Mortal Kombat set that we thought would be awesome. This time, if you've been following my Twitter, you've probably already guessed what it is, but I've been playing LA Noire. I really would love to see some vintage outfits and stuff from that era thrown into Little Big Planet. The dress that Elsa has, the just really the dress, which if they use it, I'm hoping they do what they did with like the Aviatrix dress, where it kind of changed the skeleton a little bit, made it more feminine. Yeah. But the main outfits would be the main ones that really differentiate between characters would be Cole, Roy, Elsa, and Courtney. And with Cole, I would love to see 2 outfits, one police uniform, one not. It would just be a good excuse to get a police uniform into the game, because I'm sure there's random people out there who would love an outfit like that. Plus, the hat could be stickered for military, all that stuff. Whatever you could imagine. Just a very versatile outfit. Plus, if this came with a sticker set, that would be even better.
Oh, yeah.
Just get some old vintage, like, posters.
Yeah, 50s style artwork. I mean, have some of that from Factory of the Better Tomorrow. More of it. Gives them an excuse.
There's no real loss there.
But seriously, I want that costume pack just so I can have fedoras.
Fedoras are pretty awesome.
Fedoras are completely awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all we have for this week. Hopefully we've not bored you quite so long as we did last time. But
that last episode was a 2-part. Just sorry if you didn't notice that. We didn't really expect there to be a transition.
Yeah.
So I apologize about that. But if you missed that, go back and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a lot more added there, including the Mortal Kombat stuff. So
you can see both of those on our blog in the entry right below this one.
PodCastLBP.com. Very easy.
Yep, so that's our website. And the Twitter is very important. If you want to send us a level, send it via Twitter.
We do play ones that we've already played, so I guess technically we won't be playing those, but if it's new, we'll play it. Mm-hmm. Seriously, we will play it.
So just look for Podcast LBP any place you might want to search for us on the internet. In the description, we'll have gallery levels that'll show off the picks for this week and for the last 2 weeks as well.
1 week this time. But
in this particular case, 1 week, but still. And like we said, send us fan art via email and the levels to the Twitter. So that is all for this week, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Cameron JK, that's Durman667, and have a great week in the cosmos.